to Pressure XP Live, where we're playing some more Star Trek Online. I'm doing a playthrough of the engineering character, and basically what we're doing here is, if I pull up the right section here, is we just finished the Agents of Yesterday story arc, and we were dropped off in the 25th century at Earth Spacedock. So now we are going to get a tour of Earth Spacedock on the engineering character. So without further ado, I'm going to walk up to our, logistics officer here because we were dropped off right here, and we're going to talk with him. Welcome to Earth Space Dock. You're scheduled for a meeting with the top brass, so you might want to update your uniform beforehand. The Admiral can be a stickler for that sort of detail after all. And we're just going to get a little bit of experience here. And as soon as we accept that, this blue line shows. And we're just going to follow that. This blue line is kind of a, I don't want to call it recent, but it wasn't original to the game. And now when they deal with like new players and let's say more difficult maps that you're not really sure where you're going, they implement it to sort of show people where to go. And what we're doing is we were over here and we're going over to the coat checker, or also called the tailor, where we are going to see about touching base with him. Welcome to my shop, Lieutenant Commander. That's a fine replica uniform you have there. Late 23rd century, yes. My compliments to your replicator. Now, if you'd like to update to something from this century, have a look around and let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Thank you. So, pull up the tailor, and basically, this is basically kind of the stock character, but if you click modify, you can basically change it like you would have when we first started. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't jump into it right away, is because you can change it and update the look and stuff. At this stage in the game, so you can usually just jump right into it and it not be a big deal. But we're not going to change anything right now, and I'm not going to subject y'all to that. So now, as you can see, the arrow has changed directions here, so we're going to, and if you look over here, it says talk to Temporal Agent Philip Cray. And this is the most important part of the transport captain. Interesting. Is that his name? Anyway, but that's the most important part here. And because this is a temporal character, and if we don't get this done before next little bit, and here we go, Philip Cray. So I'm going to pull up the map here. We were over here with right here, and basically I'm going to zoom in. And what we did was we went around and up here. Oh, hold on. We went up the ramp and then back here. There's a waterfall right here. It kind of makes it a little difficult to get around or try to find your way. But basically, we're going to Philip Cray. He's going to be right here, right outside Admiral Quinn's office. So. But you just go around here and it's right there. So there's that line that brings you all the way over there, which is beneficial. But I kind of like to show maps because it's just a little easier to see what's going on. So we're going to talk with Philip Cray. Welcome to the 25th century, Lieutenant Commander. We've been expecting you. Your new cover identity is in place, and Admiral Quinn's expecting you in the office behind me. Report to him for your orders. Remember, do not tell anyone about your status as temporal agent. Your goal is to observe and correct, not to interfere. Understood? Thanks. Understood and thanks. You are now a temporal agent. You have a unique trait that gives you bonus dilithium ore to you and your teammates. As a temporal agent, you will be able to earn many additional rewards as you complete later missions. Okay, and if we pull up, not map, but inventory, he has handed us this right here, the temporal transponder. Activate to open the temporal agent user interface. This will be used to track your progress through the temporal agent system. Basically, it's a kind of a mini game almost. It's like when you like double click on it, I think here. Basically, there's a lot of little bonuses here. Once you get to level 10, like it is here, you can, as you level up through the system up here, you will get little rewards, and that'll give you. So what's nice is that you know, we've already hit 10, so we get to claim this one. I don't think I've done this before, so I'm just going to go ahead and claim this. Completed. And where'd it go? Claiming, claiming. Apparently it takes a while. Maybe a long while. There it is. Claim completed. Claiming. Do I get it? It's definitely taking its sweet time. Okay, well, there it goes. There we go. So, now that we've claimed that, temporal agent equipment choice. And now these, one thing I have seen here and playing around with this before is these are level specific. So like this one right here, you can claim it at lieutenant. Like if you were to like level all these up to 50 and then go back and claim it, this would still be a lieutenant level thing. So go ahead and open this. It's not gonna be boosted to a upper admiral upper level or anything like that just by waiting. So when you claim it, it's going to be lieutenant. So go ahead and claim it now, and that way you get to, you know, benefit, you know, from it, you know, from the start. So, and like it says here, you get temporal agent equipment, ground gear. Um, let's see here, weapon, shield, armor, kit, and modules, which I'm not crazy about. One or more beams and cannons. Deflector, shield, warp core, one or more projectile weapons, and consoles, engineering, which I'm kind of specific on modules. Tempted just to go with maybe the weapons. So I'm going to go with weapons. Although ground gear would be kind of cool, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with space weapons. Accept. Oh wow, it's a set. Okay. Okay. So what we got here is we got phaser beam array, and that's rare crit. Wow, that is a pretty good one, guys. That's a real good reward here for temporal agent. Dual cannons and a turret. Wow, it's actually really good for, you know, I'd say that's even kind of a and it is bound, so you can't give it away. So I definitely like that beam array. So definitely some good rewards here. So these by themselves, you know, like this and this would definitely be a good, you know, benefit there. So, but there's some other things here that you get while going through the game. So, um, as you know hit these levels, you can claim those as well. So, as you can see, not yet. So it's like a lot of them, and I'm clicking on them to show you how it pops out and how it will go into this. So, and it says not yet available. Duty officer commendations as soon as the duty officer join the fleet. So just by join the fleet at level certain level, then you get to claim this reward. And there's some really good rewards here. So just keep in mind that as you move forward, you're definitely going to want to do this. These are like different things you can find in different episodes that you go through and play through. So just keep an eye out for one of these. I believe I've seen these in some of the old episodes, and basically if you have this character and you find these, basically it opens up more rewards like this right here. So if you find these, you get some marks and stuff if you find them all or some of them. So, but I'm just going to close that out because I think that covers everything for right now. And so now we've talked to Philip Cray, we look back up here and it says report to Admiral Quinn to get issued our stuff. Talk to Admiral Quinn.
Come in. I've been expecting you. I've recommended you for a command position on board a ship of the line. There are several fine ships available for an officer of your caliber. Head to the shipyard to select your new ship. Then return to me for your assignment.
Okay, so it looks like we get ship respout token. Okay, so now if we pull up our map, it says that we're going to go pick out our ship, and it says go to the shipyard. So we always go with the yellow or the green, circles here. And so we're going to go around the waterfall here. We're going to go go pick ourselves out a ship. And basically we're just walking out here, and we're going to talk with Laurel, which is right here. So it doesn't really help you because basically what we're going to do is Starship and Shuttle Requisitions is what we're going to select. Congratulations on your promotion, Lieutenant Commander. Admiral Quinn has cleared you to select a ship to command. There are several impressive vessels to choose from. Take a look at my store. The starships that are approved for your rank are listed there. Continue. Okay, get new starship. Browse selection. So we are a lieutenant commander, as you can see up here. So we don't want to go through all these. We could. There is a lieutenant which is before us, but basically we have to like purchase those and whatnot. So I'm not really crazy about that. We can come back and purchase, like, let's say this runabout and the captain's yacht. I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. And but what I am going to do is oh no. Okay, good. We lost connection there for a second for some reason. Start browse. And what we're going to do, because we are Lieutenant Commander, we're going to select Lieutenant Commander. And we are an engineer character. And we have all these Lieutenant Commander ships to pick from. This one costs Zen, so that costs money. This one costs money. And this one costs money. So we've got temporal, escort, and a cruiser. With the fact that we're an engineer, usually engineers gear themselves towards cruisers, but because those cost money, we're going to kind of skip over. I actually have access to this one. It was, I think, a giveaway, but we're not a science ship, so I'm not really going to really consider that at the moment. I might get it, but we're really trying to use up what they call a ship token. Like right here, we get a ship token, which means that we get a ship. So, but because I have access to this one, I'm probably not going to get this one. So that means it's going to be either between an escort or a cruiser. And I personally am leaning towards cruisers because most engineers do go with cruisers, and it's got 2 engineering slots. And looks like there's a party going on now. But and 2 tactile. So I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the cruiser. Because that's just going to be the best, choice. So we have a couple of different options here. We can go with the Excalibur version here, or we can go with the Constitution, which is the classic design, that's probably the one because of our, year. I'm probably going to go with that one. So let's go ahead and buy the ship. Okay. Derbyshire. Sure, I'll keep that name. Done. And for right now, that's all we have to do. And let's go ahead and pull up the map. And now that we've done that, speak to Admiral Quinn. And we're going to go back this way to speak with Admiral Quinn. And walking around and going to go all the way back into his office. There we go.
I see you chose a fine ship with a top-notch crew, one of Starfleet's best. I hope you're ready to get back out there. A situation has come to my attention, and I'd like you to look into it.
Okay, and we just get a little bit of experience for, taking the tour. So let's go ahead and continue that. And the next episode is basically Stranded in Space. This is basically the first episode in the story arc for the Klingon War, but it's really just an introduction to where you're at, and then it continues on into the Klingon War story arc here. So go ahead and close that. And it looks like they've tweaked it a little bit to work with the temporal characters, like temporal ambassador here. So past imperfect. So doing some of that time travel stuff. But at this point, that's all there is to the Tour Earth Spacedock. I am going to go ahead and do a couple other things with this because it's not a true tour really without actually going on doing some other things. So I'm going to go down the stairs outside of Admiral Quinn's office here, and I'm going to come down here, and there is some stairs here, and we're going to go right here. I'm just doing this to show you where this person actually is. Basically, if you go to your in progress, one of the first things that started out whenever you arrived on the station is you got this free bridge officer. So basically, you can click Hail Starfleet, and you have access to the person here, and you can pick your bridge officer this way, or you can come here and actually talk to the requisition officer directly. Now from here, We are an engineer character, so I'm going to be leaning towards picking an engineer because you're probably going to want two engineers to really make your ship work right. Because as you can't really see it with this one, but there's probably going to be two engineering slots in in the new ship. I haven't switched it over yet, but we're gonna pick uh, that based on that. What I'm gonna do before I choose that is I'm gonna go ahead and assign our ship, because as you can see we still have the old cruiser in there, and as retro as that is, unfortunately it's just not going to hold up to what we're going to be seeing out there in the 26th century. So what we're going to do here is I'm not going to like stock it up or set it all up or anything, but I am going to select my ship. If you come all the way down here and go to the right of where we were at, see here's Laurel, right to the right here on this side we're going to do select your ship. So basically of all the ships that you're going to see here, we're going to choose our new ship. So as you can see here, this is definitely going to be like a better ship for us. So ready starship, and by readying the starship, that is going to be our primary ship. Now what I will do is I am going to take all the stuff off of this ship for the moment, because I do want to I'm not going to be using that one, and I need to kind of stock up this one. So, and we still get access to the shuttle, and we can buy a new shuttle if we ever want to. But right now, this is our primary shuttle. So if we close this out and we come up here to our character status, you will see our new ship, very retro, and it's actually from the era that we're from. So that'll be kind of still in the spirit, in my opinion. So I'll stock this up some other time. So, but one of the things I'm going to see here is stations, and as you can see, there are two engineering slots, and this is a lieutenant engineer, and we've got an ensign engineer, which means we get to use two skills here. So we can use sovereign here if we want for emergency power to weapons and shields, and we can use I'm going to go with emergency beams and then tractor beam, which I love a good tractor beam. So we still need an engineer. So before we did the last episode, I did go by Earth Spacedock and I purchased a couple of extra, bridge officers of that time period. So that is kind of cool that I have access to those. The downside is they are just what you would consider, white rarity. So not really all that great. You really want purples. But in the beginning, it's really going to be helpful. And if you really want to, you might be able to sell them on the exchange if you want to. Because I don't believe that they're bound to you. So with that being said, I'm going to go back down here and talk with the requisitions officer about our bridge officer. And we are going to, it doesn't matter which one you go with. It's really just convenience, because you could train your bridge officers. This is going to be a green rarity, so it's like, you've got white, green, blue, purple, and then ultra rare and epic. So on this right here, basically, I'd probably just go with the engineer, the Vulcan. It really doesn't matter. There's really nothing that rare on any of these, to my knowledge. You can really train them in just about any of these. And I'm thinking here, so I think this is going to give us emergency power to weapons again and emergency power to shields, which technically we already have, but it's not that big of a deal. So exit, and we're going to go ahead and have him join the crew, and that's fine. Names need some work. And he's got, we've got him in emergency power to weapons. So we've got emergency power to weapons 1, we've got emergency power to shields, emergency power to weapons 2, beams overload, and tractor beam. So ultimately, in my opinion, kind of a good layout to start out the character. It's nothing really fancy. So you can customize your character as best you want with all the new rewards that you've gotten here. So you can click on your different bridge officers and drag and drop some of these rewards over here. And what we're gonna do here is let me see here. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is show you where some of the more, how do I say it, the highly used items, the areas that you're going to visit the most when you come to Earth Space Dock. Other than the fact that when you come here, you can get, clothing from the tailor. The more things you're going to do is you're going to come over to the exchange, the Interstellar Goods and Energy Credits Exchange. So with that being said, we're going to come over here because there's a number of things that you're going to want to access. We have one to start with, the bank, and you click bank. This is your personal bank, so no one can touch it. So if you want to toss something in here, like let's say this battery, you just toss it in there, and it's safe in there for you. Now, you also have an account bank, which is accessible through all of your accounts, which means that any of them can access it. As you can see, I've dumped a lot of things in here from my other accounts. And what we do here is if you need to grab something out of here or trade something between characters, not everything can come through here, but different items can come through here. So if you want to trade it off to another character, you can easily drop it in there. The other thing is we've got the exchange. So if you need to purchase something with a little bit more rarity to it, rather than something that's accessible through, let's say, one of the NPCs on one of the stations, you can find it here. So if you wanted to do lockbox keys, or search for it and find it, it's about 5.5 million. Console ships, you get an engineering console, you do a quick search, you can find a console that might benefit you, right here, and like this guy's selling for 20. So you can find some, especially some beginner stuff, real easy for yourself. So the last thing I'll show you over here is the mail. So when you access the mail, send and receive mail, and you just can compose something here. So if anything that you're not able to send through, let's say the account bank, you can send it through here. So let's say you wanted to send a bridge officer or a duty officer or something like that, and you can't send that. You can't send it through uh, the uh, the account bank. You can drop it in here, and then you can email it to yourself, and then you should be able to access it that way. So, and also you can email other people and things like that as well. So, but those are the three most beneficial things out of here. One of the last things I'm going to show you when it comes to Earth Space Dock isn't actually on Earth Space Dock. It's actually down on uh, the uh, at the Starship Academy, Starfleet Academy. So we come all the way over to the transporter. Let me back up and see if I can, you know, show you, transporter to Starfleet Academy. So you just come over here, get on the transporter pad, and it'll say beam down to Starfleet Academy. So I'm gonna beam down to Starfleet Academy with our new nifty little, 23rd century beaming effect and our little flip phone. And beam in. Now, the main thing here is that you can still access the exchange, mail, and the bank from the academy. So that's really handy. So I'm just going to show you where that's at real quick. And you come all the way inside, all the way over here, and I just like jumping across these things. As you come here, you have access to the bank, the exchange, and the mail. So if you're here, you can access those here. The next thing that I will show you is going to be the part of the duty officer system. On this one, we're commander level 10. When you reach commander level 11, you actually get accessible to get access to the duty officer system. Now, in that situation, you can come over here to these officers. They won't fully give us the right response, but this one is called Talk to the Vulcan Personnel Officer. And if you look here, they have a little icon that looks like this, Vulcan Personnel Officer. But from an overhead, you've got Vulcan Personnel Officer right here. So if we talk to them, right now they just say good morning. But they give you a duty officer assignment once you get to level 11, which will give you a free duty officer. And duty officers help you earn things like credits, experience, dilithium, just all kinds of things, even items, research and development items, things of that nature. And those are quite handy because, you'll be able to use them throughout the game. And the more bridge officers you have, or duty officers you have, the more, projects you can do, and, that's quite, handy. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up here in the top left-hand corner, and there's a Tellarite and an Andorian personnel officer. And you come over here and you have a free, these are free, by the way. They don't cost anything, credits or anything like that, but they just will give it to you on like a 48, 36 hour timetable. But you talk to each of them. Right now they just say good evening, but you'll have a duty officer assignment that you can run, and it will get you a free duty officer, one from each of them. So right here you've got one, two, and three duty officers from those three individuals that I just showed you. And the last one's a little bit harder to explain without having access to the system, and I'll probably do an episode on duty officers as soon as I get to level 11 here, and to give it and put it in a little bit more detail. But it wouldn't be a true, uh, tour of Earth Spacedock, in my opinion, if I didn't actually include this into it. But right here, you can talk with Lieutenant Farah, and also the personnel officer. If you talk to the personnel officer right now, it just says good morning, but an item will come up here where you can do a whole big list of duty officers. So it'll give you things like I think up to like 10 different anywhere from I think 6 to 8 duty officers or something like that. So even upwards of 10, just depending upon how you do it. So those are all duty officers that you can run on a regular basis, so that you can run these projects. So you get dilithium credits, free items, free weapons. Just running a project will get you all kinds of free stuff. And if you don't actually like the weapon, you can sell it and get some credits for it. So very useful and a very good starting point for all this. So you also talk to Lieutenant Farah. She will also give you a bunch of stuff, to start out with, to start out your duty officers, and you can actually order duty officers. So down here it tells you if you have any credits for each one of like these areas, a colonial or engineering, things like that. So, and as it right says, you do not have enough tier 1 espionage for this duty officer. So, and these are also, duty officers are also accessible on the exchange. So if you wanted to buy some, you can buy them there as well. But I think that is it. So, like I said, and in the beginning, there's also a neat little, project you can do right here. It's just a little exam, Dr. Vela, and you do these. They get you like some additional experience or something like that. So, if you just want some quick, experience in the beginning, that's a great way to do it. So. And from there, I think that's it. So I can't really think of anything else at the moment. So, trying to think here if there's anything else I would want to include in the Earth Space Dock, uh, renewal here, or the just an intro to Earth Space Dock here. So, but I'm not really thinking of anything at the moment. So, but I think I'll just go ahead and end it there. But you know, thank y'all for watching. If y'all have got any questions, if you have any feedback, I'm trying to do these live. They're a little unscripted. I have some notes, but ultimately, I try to include certain things in here so um, we can, get these things out here fast and quick. I don't really like hanging on to them for a huge amount of time. So, but if y'all get any notes, throw them down in the comments or send me a text chat. If you have any questions for me, put them down there as well. I don't mind answering questions. And I think from there, that is it. Um, uh, Thank y'all for watching, and Lord willing, I will see y'all next time.